Hey listeners, it's Stephanie Wynn, your host of the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, and I have got some amazing news to share with you. My brand new book, Navigating Inflammatory Bowel Disease, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health, is finally here and available for pre-sale. Maybe you or someone you know is struggling to figure out life with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, which is 2 forms of inflammatory bowel disease or IBD. This book is written just for you. It's simple, easy to follow blueprint, packed with practical tips and real life advice to help you manage symptoms, find the right support, and feel more control. This book is like having a friend who truly gets it, like walking with you every step of the way. And the best part, you can get your autographed copy today. Just head over to navigatingibd.com to pre-order now. If you've been looking for answers, hope, or just a little guidance, Navigating IBD is here to help. Don't wait. Pre-order your copy today and start your journey to better gut health. Welcome to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast with Stephanie A. Wynn, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. The Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast is a mixture of special guest interviews from healthcare professionals, IBD survivors, Crohn's survivors, ulcerative colitis survivors, and community thought leaders. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out. We are back. We are back for another episode of the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, and today's episode is deeply personal, y'all. Like today's episode is titled Turning Pain into Purpose, My Journey with Crohn's Disease. And I'm going to share my journey with Crohn's disease. It's a form of inflammatory bowel disease, the challenges I faced, and how those experiences have shaped my mission to create change for others. I'll also be sharing how this journey inspired me to write my upcoming newly released book, Navigating Inflammatory Bowel Disease, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health, which is a practical guide for anyone navigating the challenges of inflammatory bowel disease, such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. We're going to get right into this episode. But before we do, just know that this is a podcast where we dive into stories and strategies that empower us to live healthier, more fulfilling lives. So we're just not here just talking. We are listening to stories of those who are just going through the journey of navigating inflammatory bowel disease and telling their story authentically, with good intentions, and just sharing for those who can't, pray for themselves, help themselves, but have a resource, and a sense of hope, right? So in 2017, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease after years of confusion, frustration, and heartbreak. But the diagnosis didn't come soon enough to save me from the unimaginable pain of losing 2 daughters. Both pregnancies went full term. Well, one went full term. The other one, I went 5 months. And to only find that my body would reject both children, like both of my babies, my body rejected the babies. The doctors called it an anomaly. They didn't know why my body was rejecting the babies. One provider said, your body just rejected the baby, try again. But what they didn't know and what I didn't know was that I had an autoimmune condition, which is inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, right? And it was silently working against me, like it was silently fighting against me. And so again, like I said, this journey with Crohn's disease has really, not only is it personable, but I've gone through so much hurt. I've gone through so much pain with dealing with this condition. I knew I couldn't let this pain, be in vain. Which is why I founded the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation. What happened during this time, although I went through the hurt, I went through the pain, I went through the loss of my children, it was during this time and going through the 6 different doctors to get the right diagnosis for Crohn's disease. It was during that time where I said, you know what, there's somebody else out here who is suffering in silence. Somebody else has gone through what I've gone through. And so I knew that this was not going to validate who I am. And so, like I said, my goal is to ensure that no one else has to feel the loss. No one else has to be scared or forgotten about in their healthcare journey. So we founded the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation so that we could provide the support and resources that I didn't have. I was diagnosed with this chronic condition. There was no blueprint. There was no, okay, here's some information about it. Nothing. It was, you need to stay away from drive-through windows and toilet paper. That was it. You're going to get these tests done. So by the time I got to my GI doctor, I was almost dead. Like I went from 189 pounds to 112 pounds. So this isn't just, it's about me, but it's bigger than me, right? Because I'm sure there's somebody out there that can relate to this pain, can relate to what I've gone through with this condition. While running back and forth to doctor's appointments and just trying to figure out this healthcare system, one day I just woke up and said, there's somebody else out here going through this, somebody else who doesn't have the strength to fight this condition, somebody that's so weak and tired, they can't even pray for themselves. So that's where the Stephanie A. Wynn was founded, because I knew that there was somebody that needed support, one, but also needed to be educated on what this condition truly is. What is it? And I think oftentimes providers, they're so busy seeing patients. They're going in one door, they're coming out another door. They're coming out the door. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. So by the time they're done with their day, they don't know what the patients are facing on the patient side. They don't know that they are either underinsured, they have to come out of pocket with thousands of dollars to get infusions. They don't know that because they're busy practicing medicine, right? Hey there, listeners. It's Stephanie Wynn, your host of the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. I'm super excited to share an opportunity with you. On Saturday, March 22nd, 2025, the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation will be hosting the 3rd annual Let's Talk IBD Health and Wellness Symposium at the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. This year's theme is all about opportunity, bridging gaps in health equity, mental wellness, and quality of life. You'll hear from amazing keynote speakers like Dr. Jasmine Cohen-Young and Dr. Jennifer Seminario, plus connect with others who truly understand the IBD journey. And here's the best part. My upcoming book, Navigating IBD, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health, will launch on the same day as the symposium. And I'm super excited because it will be available at the symposium as well. This guide is packed with practical tips and personal insights to help you or someone you love take control of their health. Register today at the StephanieAWynnFoundation.org and secure your spot. I can't wait to see you there and to personally introduce you to navigating IBD. Together, we'll navigate toward better health. Join us on March 22nd because where there's opportunity, there's hope. Peace. So we established the foundation, and prior to establishing the foundation, we had partnered with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We were doing bowl-a-thons every December for IBD Awareness Week. And so what I found was that this wasn't trickling down to the community. There were still people suffering in silence. People didn't know, like, they're going to the emergency room, they're going to the urgent care, they're not getting any treatment, quality treatment, and they don't have the information correct. That's a problem. That was a problem for me. And it was like, I got to do something. And so this is what we did. And so while establishing the foundation, I realized that many patients need more than just resources. They need a roadmap, if you will. That's why I wrote the Navigating Inflammatory Bowel Disease, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health. This book is my way of guiding others through the chaos of inflammatory bowel disease with practical tools, reflections, and strategies to help them reclaim their health and their lives. This book is so needed because what do you do when you're diagnosed? You're so in shock of having this doctor tell you, I have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. And you're sitting there looking at them like, okay. And it doesn't hit you until you get home and it's set in, right? So here's what you can expect from this book that I wrote for us to navigate the healthcare system. You can expect weekly themes, daily action steps, and tools for managing your symptoms, such as like your diet and mental health. One of the things that I experienced was I started to get depressed because I was losing weight. Nobody could tell me why I was losing weight. I was really tired. I was ill. I was going to the bathroom like 100 times a day. And I'm not even exaggerating, like 100 times. Like I went to the bathroom so much one time, I just passed out in the bathroom on the floor. I can't make this up. I'm saying this to say, like, you're not alone. This book is so needed for such a time as this. And so here's what I want to do. I want to encourage you listeners to act right now. If my story resonates with you or someone you know, I want to invite you to grab a copy of Navigating Inflammatory Bowel Disease, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health. It's more than just a book. It's a lifeline for anyone struggling to navigate the challenges of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Listen, this is how I know it is needed because I get calls every week. I need your help. Where do I go? I don't have a primary care doctor. This is a problem, right? So for more information about the book, you can go to navigatingibd.com, grab your autograph signed copy. Also, if you want to get involved with the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation, you can go to the StephanieAWynnFoundation.org website to get involved if you would like to volunteer. Again, if you're passionate about helping others, consider joining our movement to bring hope and healing to underserved communities. Remember, like some communities don't have access to quality healthcare, right? People that look like me. So I just want to be clear. And I'm not saying there's no help for other marginalized communities, but my goal is to really help educate our community about this condition because there's a lot of people who look like me that have not been properly diagnosed or have gone to see numerous doctors and they still cannot give them the correct diagnosis. And that is a problem. So you see, inflammatory bowel disease, this is what I do know. This is what I do know. And science can back me up. But the symptoms for African Americans show up differently than other cultures. I know that for a fact because it showed up differently for me. The science is there. And so the barriers is, do I have access to resources that can educate me on this condition? You know, with the state of Florida Department of Health, inflammatory bowel disease is not even considered a chronic illness. That's a problem too. So we have to change that because it is. I had a cousin who passed away recently from inflammatory bowel disease, symptoms of it. And so this isn't just about me. It's bigger than me. It's so bigger than me. If you know someone who is going through this journey with stomach issues, visit the StephanieAWynnFoundation.org website, get involved. I'm telling you, grab you a copy, get them a copy of the Navigating Inflammatory Bowel Disease, a 6-week blueprint for better gut health. And remember, no matter how overwhelming the journey feels, you're not alone. Together, we can turn pain into purpose and create a brighter future for everyone facing chronic illnesses. This is a chronic illness, y'all. And we got to get involved. And together, we can't do it by ourselves, right? So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. Until next time, peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out.